This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Friday, July 3rd, 2020. The title of this rant is How Trump and the GOP Will Steal the 2020 Election. So we know Trump's way behind. He's not only behind overall, but he's behind in the battleground states. And what he has determined so far for himself is that the best way he can win the election is just for Trump to be Trump. Which basically means he's going to double, triple, and quadruple down on racism. But his sycophants in the GOP are going to be looking at a lot of other things to try and make sure that he holds on to this election. And they have decided, like they have done at every election, that they know how to play dirty. And this year they will play dirty as hard as they possibly can. So when it comes to voter suppression, when it comes to voter ID, the number of hours that a voting area is open, the opportunity for early voting days, the opportunity for mail-in, the number of voting machines, let's just say in poor districts, the changing of locations of where voting can take place, and then sending out things to registered voters indicating that it's somewhere else. Yes, these are all of the things that are going to be going on with the Republicans coming up in this election. And also remember that they recently advertised, I believe, to try and get about 50,000 people, let's just call them goons or thugs, basically to be poll watchers, but basically for voter intimidations, where they will physically confront people to try and deny them the right to vote. And it would be something if we saw some of the white supremacists, etc., being outside of some poll booths with guns in hand, confronting people on their legitimacy to vote, even though they have total legitimacy to vote. And of course, at the same time, Trump is basically already denying the legitimacy of this election as he goes around and continues to talk about the election is rigged and that the polls are fake. So he knows he's behind. He has to live in his fantasy world where everyone is against him, etc. But he has his cadre of people behind him trying to make it happen for him. Because every GOP in every state, in every town, etc., hamlet, they're doing all of the things I just mentioned in other things. And just remember, to make a quick point, Jeb Bush and Catherine Harris got a lot of black people off the vote in Florida before the 2000 election, which he gave it to George Bush. And of course, we have to thank Ralph Nader in there also. But and then the current governor of Georgia basically did a lot of shenanigans in 2018 to make sure that he got to be governor of Georgia. So they can do all of this stuff. And they're going to work in conjunction with think tanks, political action committees, I don't know what else they call them, dark money LLCs, and also a lot of law firms representing Republicans and representing corporate America. So let's just say there are hundreds of law firms representing Big Pharma. Well, they want to make sure that Big Pharma can charge the average American much more for drugs than any other country in the world. They want to keep that in there. So they'll be working on behalf of the Republicans to keep that. So and they're frantically going to be looking at every possible legal loophole that they can drive something through to keep people from voting. And of course, basically, what are they trying to do? They are going to do anything as much legally or illegally, because even if it's illegal and they win, who gives a shit, right? They won. But their sole purpose is basically to represent the 5%, the 10%, the 1%, and to screw the rest, of America. And that's just part one. Part two and part three are coming up, but they're going to do everything to screw the average working American of getting proper representation. We must be aware of it. We must work diligently to stop it.